A few months ago, there were a number of videos here on TikTok making claims about a special color called Baker Miller Pink. Claims made on this platform and others include that Baker Miller Pink can reduce human strength, reduce aggression, suppress appetite, and because of the strength and aggression reduction, the color is banned from being used in college football locker rooms. We have a lot to unpack. Alexander Schaus hypothesized that the perception of color could affect a person's endocrine system, and thus their mental state along with other physical effects. In 1978, he experimented on prisoners as well as himself, having them stare at painted cards, and observed a calming effect when staring at a particular shade of pink, which he called P618. Though he thought some of the results might have been due to his own bias. He later proposed painting a prison seclusion room this shade of pink, which was rejected by the prison he worked for at the time. Despite this, without Schaus's knowledge, Chief Warrant Officer Gene Baker and Commander Ron Miller of the Naval Correctional Center in Seattle, Washington had the intake cell painted P618. These two men are where Baker Miller Pink gets its current name. After 156 days, the center reported that new inmates only needed to observe Baker Miller Pink for 15 minutes for the calming effect to kick in, continue being docile for up to 30 minutes, and that
since initiation of this procedure on March 1st, 1979, there have been no incidents of erratic or hostile behavior during the initial phase of confinement.
A similar experiment was performed in 1979 over a longer period of time at the Santa Clara County Jail, with similar results. But Schaus thought that poor record keeping as well as social and environmental factors tainted the data. More studies were done involving a VA psychiatric ward, a center for troubled juveniles, and even a courtroom. All found similar results. Schaus presented preliminary findings at the 13th Advanced Seminar for Environmental Medicine on October 28, 1979. To his dismay, the local press heard about it and began reporting on the mysterious shade of pink that could calm the criminal mind. Soon the news went national, then international. Schaus received letters from people working in psychiatry, corrections, education, and even dentistry reporting the effects of Baker Miller Pink. He later said,
"However, I remain skeptical since so many artifacts could account for these results, not the least of which includes novelty."
In other words, all the hype could be affecting people's perceptions of their results. Schaus and others continued studying the effects of Baker Miller Pink under tighter and tighter controls, and they increasingly found that if the color had any effect on behavior, strength, or mood, it was minimal. Schaus thought that anything from lighting, surrounding environment, and even conventional gender norms might be causing an effect on both real and perceived behavior. Anytime there was a significant and observable effect on people, other factors just couldn't be ruled out. So what about some of the other claims? Kendall Jenner made tabloid headlines when she painted some walls in her home Baker Miller Pink, because, as she claimed, it could suppress appetite. The only reference I could find other than Jenner herself was a 1980 experiment by Dr. Maria Simonson at Johns Hopkins University Hospital, where about 30% of subjects reported appetite reduction after observing Baker Miller Pink. But just like the other studies, there's still more research required to prove that this wasn't caused by other things. So finally, is Baker Miller Pink banned in college football locker rooms? In 1979, Iowa State University football coach Hayden Fry had the visiting team's locker room painted pink. While it has been stated that this was because he'd read that pink has a calming effect, in his memoir he contradicted this, saying, quote, "Pink is often found in girls' bedrooms, and because of that some consider it a sissy color," end quote. Fry also stated, quote, "I can't recall a coach who has stirred up a fuss about the color and then beat us," end quote. In other words, the point of painting the locker room pink was to get a rise out of the opposing team. The locker room was remodeled in 2005 and painted an even brighter shade of pink on more surfaces, and it remains that way as of 2021. While it's safe to say that there don't appear to be any rules regarding pink college football locker rooms, I reached out to the Western Athletic Conference to check. They ignored me.
What's a fella gotta do to get some clout around here?
So, does Baker Miller Pink reduce strength, aggression, and appetite? And as such, is the color banned in university locker rooms? The answers are probably not, probably not, probably not, and no.